Hello, viewer. Socializing for the introverted sober alcoholic is like skydiving naked. How do I know this? Because I've done both. Hi, my name is James and I am a recovered alcoholic. I say that hesitantly because I usually say recovering. But you know what? There has to come a point where we're recovered. I'm doing this midday today. I do this every day. This is the Sober James Addiction Recovery live stream podcast, one day at a time. Thank you for joining me today, March 1st, 2025. What's up, Noah? Noah, it's not on the screen, so you can go ahead and, if you would like to talk about it, you can, Noah, type it again. That's what happens in the disease of alcoholism and addiction. Relapse, uncomfort, socializing can do it to me. My main point for drinking at 14 was to socialize. I got drunk on a pint of rum at the bus stop of my middle school, and the doctor and my parents asked me why I did it. I said to talk to girls. I drank that pint of rum to talk to girls. So today we're going to kind of centralize our discussions around socializing and the dynamics of sobriety in the social landscape. The further away from your last drink you get, the better you feel. I am about 15 months away from my last drink, and I've been growing ever since. I've had to learn some social stuff. Every time I get sober, I have had to learn how to navigate social landscapes. And one reason I'm coming to you early today is to catch some of you UK cats, I understand. You guys don't stay up that late. Well, you probably do, you London. But us Yankees over here, you know what I mean? I want to catch some UK. I got about a 12% UK audience, and I just don't think it's right to, stream so late. I'm sober. I'm completely sober. I do partake in cannabis, but not a lot at all. My drug of choice is the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I be snorting, slamming them steps like rails. That's my medicine for my continuing disease of alcoholism. Yeah, cannabis is mind-altering, sure, yeah. I'm not changing my name back to soberdelic. There's so much involved to do. I did it once just to remain accurate. You know what I mean? I'm sober, bro. I'm at the best point in my recovery in my life. I personally think recovery is progressive, just like alcoholism is. You pick it up. You pick up new things every time. It's a journey. I'm good with my cannabis use. My sponsor is. I'm not justifying it. There has been other times in my life where it was unhealthy cannabis use. And I don't even, speaking of socializing, smoking weed, smoking pot, to me it's a medicine. It's a drug. It's a mind-altering drug. I love to get high, and all the rest of those deadly drugs like alcohol and benzos kill me or put me in jail or just straight kill me. So I am sober. I'm drinking coffee today. No more psychedelics because months and months ago, I got back onto Prozac. There is a danger. There's research involved between SSRIs, which are antidepressants, anti-anxiety, like Prozac. The interaction between them and psychedelics like psilocybin and LSD are not very favorable. Benzos for socializing? No. I treat benzos like I do booze. There is not enough. I'll eat them like candy. You know, the first couple of weeks I may be able to relatively control my intake, but after a while, the tolerance goes up and I'll be eating 9, 10 benzos. I'll be blacked out for weeks, falling down because my body is so sedated. The central nervous system is barely like pumping blood around. I'm just so chill that my heart doesn't even want to do its job. But I smoke at night. I smoke cannabis at night. I have a bowl. I used to smoke 7-8 grams a day. I would smoke 7 or 8 of those gram pre-rolls. So that was right before my alcohol relapse. So it could be said I could have used that as a warning sign that I couldn't moderate my cannabis use, so I'm slipping into an alcoholic relapse. So that's something, like when I say learn from your relapses, that's something I would learn from my last relapse. If I start smoking weed morning, noon, and night, I should probably, pump the brakes a little. Like, meaning the 4 hideous horsemen of alcoholism are on their way. Terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. Yeah, the sober James buzz, bro. Like I said, I'm just gonna film myself. I started in 2018, and my first and lasting words are, I'm just gonna film my life as a addict that wants to recover, an alcoholic that wants to recover. So far in the channel, we've seen years of sobriety. We saw 6 months of relapse, May of 2023 to November 30th of 2023. And November 30th of 2023 is now my current sobriety date. From alcohol and all dangerous drugs. Cannabis is not a dangerous drug. That might be a matter of opinion, but it's a matter of popular opinion, I'll tell you that. Sigma, I am a man of integrity. I do as I say when I can. The times that I slip away from the podcast are times where my alcoholism has gotten to me. I don't feel like I'm worthy. It's not easy being totally transparent all the time. Like, sometimes I feel really bad and really down, and I'll feel like I'll be spitting toxins into the microphone, and I'll be affecting people negatively. You know what I mean? So if I drift away, it's because I'm struggling out. I'm just a drunk trying to get along, man. Just like Bill W., just like you. I'm just a drunk trying to get along. So if I don't add up to my any ideal that I should be. Oh, it's Holly Ford. Holly, you need to be on the stream. Miss hashtag Holly Ford. Get on the stream, yo. I love our technology. We can talk to text, text to talk, and probably as many as 2 more things. Law School Joe says, I remember your relapse in 2023. That one guy would always come over and drink IPAs with you on your stream. Yeah, there was, we called him the Wizard. I was thinking on one of these streams, we could actually watch one of those streams. I don't want to let them go wild, even though people do like them and they were getting views like nobody's business. I have them privatized, those days of relapse. I haven't yet been told by my higher power what to do with them. I don't know if they would be toxic or if they would be beneficial. I think I have hundreds of Red Dead Redemption 2. I wasn't drinking for those. I mean, some of those I was on mushrooms. But let it be known that mushrooms and cannabis, even though I'm not on mushrooms these days, let it be known that I do think they are beneficial, but used responsibly. Yeah, there were funny times. It was an adventure. I may bring those streams up, and I may bring those up, and I can look for one right now. If you give him, I could put it right on the screen, and we could watch it together. Because it's a Sober J guidance, SJ guidance, PG-13. You know what I mean? SJ-13. Mind's Eye, Raphael, Trippy, it's good to see you all. Noah, especially you, buddy. Don't worry about that relapse. Just learn from it. Use it as a tool. The only one you can't use is the one where you die. And who knows, we might be able to use that from the other side, brother. Did you guys hear about the new Goonies 2 coming out? Steven Spielberg and the rest of them. Zoom in on that with your phones. Zoom in on that tattoo with your phones. It's my newest tattoo. To celebrate Goonies 2, I got... Well, you tell me what that is. You tell me, because it was a bold attempt to try to do something so beautiful. What's the guy's name? You know what I'm talking about, Raphael. Hey, you guys! Hey, you guys! Baby Ruth? Zoom in on that. See, all right. It's time for me to get this production on track. I got a couple new lights. I got my... doesn't my voice sound so buttery smooth? BJ! What's up, BJ? You want to see the dog, Ted? Hi, girl. Mikey. Hey, you guys! Bro, don't even tell me you guys don't know who that is. Don't even tell me you don't even know who that is. If somebody doesn't tell me who that is, you know what I mean? See, the Goonies. See, oh man, so I've been running into people that haven't seen the Goonies lately, and I didn't know that you existed. People that haven't seen the Goonies. I didn't know. I thought everyone had seen the Goonies. Yeah, he's a pirate. That's when Sloth donned the pirate hat and swung into the ship and started whooping that ass and said, "Mama, you've been bad." Actually doing an obligation now. More like I love doing this live stream. I love doing this channel. So, it's like socializing for me, man. So the topic of this live stream that I want to discuss, because I happen to be facing an evening of socialization tonight. I have to face it because I'm introverted, and I am an introverted alcoholic that used to drink to socialize. It was so prevalent, this part of my drinking, that even if I was alone, I tell people now, I was a social alcoholic. I mean, I drank alone, but I was all over Facebook making posts and shit. I would have to go the next day. See, I'm old. I was on Facebook, okay? MySpace. Okay, I've been drunk on MySpace. You know what I mean? Your boy's 44 years old. I've been on MySpace. But I would have to go the next day, and drunk dialing. What about drunk posting? But I'm introverted usually. You wouldn't believe it listening to me talk into this microphone. That's because something happens when I'm on this channel that I am allowed to be myself. And it's been complete and utter part of my recovery is being able to be myself with you guys. So I owe it to you. But there's something about, well, there's something about AA too. There's something about being with other addicts and alcoholics that allows you to be yourself with no reserve, because we're all crazy. I mean, all humans are twisted and tweaked anyway, but there's something about being with other fellow addicts and alcoholics that allows me to be myself. So I'm going to be with some tonight. This is a AA event. Although I've gone to conventions and stuff, and it still gets weird, man. Like for me, at least, I'm real introverted. You could say most of my energy comes from, being in my head. I guess that's like the worst place for an alcoholic to be. But introverts naturally recharge our energy by being alone for a minute. So if I have a big social day where I'm, hey, what's up, Miss Hashtag Holly Ford? How are you now? Me and Holly socialize. We text each other because I think you're the same way, Miss Holly. I mean, you can tell your story, but me and Miss Holly are best buds. And I don't go out much. So to be around a lot of people makes me nervous, and I have to recharge. I have to come back and recharge in my bubble. So that's what I'm doing today before my, AA thing tonight. It's like it's an AA thing. There's going to be a speaker, a fellow alcoholic that tells their story to the rest of us. And then, as I understand, there's a dance. Now look, man, here's something I'm completely ashamed of. If you'd like to know. Would you guys like to know something that I'm completely ashamed of? I can tell you. I like to dance. And no, I'm not going to do it right now, because there's a catch. I can't dance in front of people. I'm very sensitive to judgment and eyeballs on me. I'm 6'5". On any dance floor, my head is going to be like visible from all points in the room. Being 6'5" comes with its less than ideal attributes. One of which is I feel like I can't, basically hide, which an introvert / alcoholic / sober wants to do, at least in early sobriety. But I just want to dance. But I don't think I'll be doing any dancing tonight. Number one, because I don't know any official moves. I practiced one time, and I took a class. It was free, 1, 2, 3, free ballroom dancing lessons. And salsa, the tango, rumba, you know what I mean, waltz. And I couldn't tell you, I don't even know if I could do one. So with ADHD, introversion, alcoholism, now dance drunk? Shit. you couldn't stop me. Which is sad, isn't it? It's pretty sad, I think. Part of the reason I used to drink so much, part of my alcoholism stems from being able to be myself. I need to be able to be myself. Hence why I tore off the sleeves of this t-shirt. In 2018, when I made this channel, I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to be myself and see what happens. And it's gotten ugly on this channel. I'm sure it's gotten awkward. I'm sure there were times where, there's like a car crash or train wreck. But the one thing that kept me coming back to the camera and the microphone is the fact that you guys insist that it really does help. Which I know. I mean, my alcoholic was telling me that I'm not really helping them. You're doing the channel for money. You're doing the channel for ego. You're doing this, you're doing that, you scumbag. Yeah, well, that's not true. That's what my alcoholism was telling me. And I would drift away and stuff. That's the kind of, I'm sure all humans go through that kind of thing when they're taking on something like, something that's this publicized and there's so many eyes. I'm sure we all go through that. But if given my choice, I'll isolate. This alcoholic, me, will isolate alone. And it's said that is spending time with the enemy. What's up, Tivana? I am taking off the do not disturb on the phone number that you see on your screen. Tivana, if you want to give a call, 24-hour program, people. Tivana's been on a recovery tip. I appreciate your comments and support. Life is life of this magnitude. 24 hours at a time. Yeah, man. Just doing a stream midday. It's a beautiful Saturday out there in my neck of the woods. I'm hoping to give the London time people. I know I have viewers from the UK that want to get on live sometimes, so I'm just I'm doing a couple of different times, but this is a one day at a time daily addiction recovery live stream just to gather and center our addict selves with each other. Sounds so intimate. I'm really hoping hey, it's progress, not perfection, with the sound, the visuals, the live stream, the channel, the production, the content. It's just like recovery. Progress, not perfection. Go outside. Yeah, my dogs are outside right now. My windows are open. I'm going to partake in some activities here as well. And it's this is my third cup of coffee for the day. I usually drink one. I really hate the feeling of getting all like amped up and then later might get a headache, but there is an afternoon slump that involves a lull in dopamine in human beings. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but anywhere from like noon to 5 p.m. Might come depression, might come lethargy. Cool, we got a call. Whoops.
Call from
Michael, aka Tivana.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Hey, James, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's your day going?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I'm got just a few minutes about to leave for my 2 p.m. meeting.
Oh, right on. Cool, man. What time zone are you in? Oh,
I'm in
yeah, 2
Eastern.
p.m. So you're in the same time zone I'm in.
Yes, sir. We're in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Cool, man. Going to meetings. Meeting makers make it. Good for you, Michael.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's my daily keep it sane. I get like 2 or 3 a day and survive in between, but it's definitely recharging.
Yeah. Yeah. It's medicine. For me, it's medicine for me. I go to the meetings to medicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to an AA thing tonight. It's a meeting with it's a get together. It's a young people's it's like a young people's in AA kind of thing. Ikipa.
Okay.
And although I'm not that young myself any longer, they're all ages go to these things, but the young people put it on, and there's going to be probably a younger speaker. Then there's going to be young things going on, and which makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I haven't been in many social settings. The past 4 months, I just kind of dropped out of my normal social life. And family, friends, and meetings, but I haven't been to and those AA events probably be a good way to start.
Right. That's what I stick close to AA. So I've gone to conventions, I've gone to dances. So at the convention, they'll have these events, dances and stuff afterwards, and I've been you know what I mean? I think I got a little bit more recovering to go before I'm out there on the dance floor, you know what I'm saying?
I do. It's funny because before this, I was around the Grateful Dead scene a long time, and here in Atlanta around the music scene a lot, and so I disappeared. I'm not a musician. I'm just a hang out guy. But I'm now meeting a lot of the dudes that I used to go here play. I'm meeting them in meetings.
Nice.
So I'm getting invites to shows, but I'm not quite ready to drop back in there,
Yeah.
But when I am ready, it's cool knowing there's some recovery going on there.
Yeah, yeah, that's a smart move. I mean, I like to say, it's a multifaceted disease, and you got to kind of answer back with all kinds of different facets, like different ways. And one of ways is I had to stay away from concert scenes and stuff like that, and parties and dancing events. So this is a good exercise, you know what I mean? To be uncomfortable, I guess, would be the natural reaction from, me or any human. That's why I don't know how to do it, is because I drank over it for, you know what I mean? Whenever I would face these situations in the past, there's human beings that go through these situations during adolescence and teenage years without drinking and doing drugs, and they learn how to deal with it and thus become operating adults. Me, I drank over them all, so I just didn't learn how to handle it. So now I got to face these situations and be uncomfortable, I guess, to learn. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Grabowski. What up?
Yeah, no, I feel that. One thing that blows me away is my friend who got me to go to my first AA meeting, I know him because he was in Wharf Rats, the group around Grateful Dead, and when I knew about them before, but now getting my brain around, these people wanted to stay on tour. They're fully immersed. The psychedelia might be good, but everything. And they said, hey, we want to be sober, but we want to keep touring around, and I don't know how they did it, but it's cool.
Yeah, Shades of Clarity's on the stream. He's in the chat box. He's a fellow musician in recovery, I think, and same kind of. I mean, we were all actually, alcoholics come in many shapes and sizes. Not all of us quote partied. I guess maybe that's a common thread, but I know I mean, I know well-to-do people, alcoholics, you know what I mean, that have been not like mosh pit kind of people like myself, but like maybe have been to a couple concerts and a couple parties, but they just couldn't get away from drinking. So alcoholics like come in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that kind of shows that it's something deeper than just a cultural thing or environment. There's an allergy. There's something underlying that makes us different.
Right. Yeah, it's but for me, it's always been a social thing. Like socializing makes me uncomfortable. For some, I guess it's vulnerability. I don't really know. But it's always, I don't really know. It seems like I'm finding out that I go out into the world like everyone is naturally my enemy until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. That's the way it was me against the world, and they're a bunch of idiots. And you know what, like in chapter 5, you know, like if everyone just act right, it'd be fine.
Yeah. We want to be the director, and if everyone would just act as we please, the world would be all right. And then you get out there and nobody does as you please, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I got to get drunk if this is going to be the case. These people are scary.
Yeah, I'm not crazy, they're crazy.
Yeah, the fact that I can't, they're not doing what I think is, you know, they don't act how I think they should act. I can't come out here. I can't come out in this. I'm not coming out here ever again. And then I would get drunk and I would venture out. You couldn't keep me in the house. Like I would just start drinking alone, and then I'd venture out to the bars, blacked out.
Yeah. Hey, I do got to run in a minute to get on the road, but later on I would definitely want to tell you the story the first time I came across your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like not remotely trying to get sober, but I was curious. I was looking at like psychedelics and AA and Bilson and, you know, therapy and stuff like that. And the very first time I saw you was 18 grams, psilocybin live. And I didn't chat that night, but I was there like the whole 4 hours or something. And it was wild. It was
yeah, I should publicize that one again too. Right now, that's a members only video, but I should just publicize it. The reason I don't is because I didn't want to get traffic that were just into shrooms instead of shrooms and recovery. And I was getting subscribers like that were, but you know, there's algorithm things, but I'm glad you caught that. There's a lot between psilocybin and addiction recovery, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear it, you know, and like back then I was listening to like Alan Watts and you know, talking about how psychedelics have so much power, and just a lot of times folks, you find yourself in a place you don't have context, you know, so you don't know how to apply it, you know, and that's when him and Ram Dass trying, you know, getting the Eastern philosophy in and like getting some focus, you know, or that's why I was curious, you know, about like there's the psychologists that use it like with protocols. But then there's also a lot of the self-explorers, you know, that I think there can be use for it, you know, self-applied, but I don't know. You know, it's interesting stuff. And it's definitely, you know, that stuff obviously, like you've said before, that's not like, you know, alcohol and other drugs, you know, where you're just numbing yourself, having fun, forgetting everything. You know, that's
right.
not going to happen.
Yeah, they can be fun. They can be joyous. They can be ecstatic. They can be that. But they can also be a deep dive into your character defects and like your psychology and like, you know, any kind of denial film that you've been wearing over your eyes comes away and like all kinds of stuff. But we'll talk about that another time. You should get to your meeting, brother.
Absolutely, brother, man. It was great talking with you. I'm going to try to catch more lives. Normally I'm riding in my car, but thanks for what you're doing, man. I appreciate it.
Right on, man. Thanks for calling, Michael, and I'll see you around.
Have a good one, brother.
All right, later. Yeah, man. Tivana. We trudged this road together, he and I, and you and I, of recovery. the road to happy destiny. Shades of Clarity's in the building. He says, I may be weird, dude, but I have never taken a psychedelic substance, Shades says. Weird, yeah, right. No cocaine, meth, H, or anything. It's always been benzos and alcohol. Right on. We all have our drugs of choice. Benzos and alcohol were always alcohol first. And then I've known cocaine addicts that don't even, well, yeah, not cocaine addicts because they like booze. But I've known heroin addicts that can take or leave alcohol, which is just unbelievably foreign to me. Because I'll take them both. I may have had a little heroin in my ecstasy back in the day, which is MDMA, Molly, for you millennials out there. We used to call it ecstasy, man. But I've never slammed it. I think I may have snorted it once. But I'd be totally wasted to the point of if you gave me a drug, I barely felt it. I was already on so many. That's the kind of alcoholic I was. I was alcohol, and then boom, just hit me with everything else because my inhibitions are not there. And fucking, fighting, snorting, tooting, slamming, cursing like a sailor, a drunk sailor. What would you do with a drunken sailor? Mike, what's the story here today? The story, I'm doing it early for the cats in the UK, and I have some social plans this evening. So the topic is socializing for the introverted alcoholic is kind of like skydiving naked. You know, shit all flapping in the wind. Going 250 miles an hour towards planet Earth. That's what it is comparable to. I don't think I'll be here back tonight. I'm going to an AA centered event. It's a meeting, but it's also afterwards geared towards socializing, which is an important part of recovery because I drank and then socialized, never the other way around. If I was going to socialize, there better be some drinks. You know, that's just the way I was. Ever since 14 at a party when I had 2 Fosters, Australian for beer is what I hear. I had 2 Fosters cans and things worked out that night. Let's just put it like that. I felt like this is the ticket. This is what everybody else has, and I don't. That's how I felt. You know? Oh, thanks, Shades. Yeah, it's mostly because it's daytime and the lighting provides it something to focus on, but it's a cheap webcam. I sold my A7R III when I was getting back on my feet. Recovery and sobriety takes what it takes, and that time it took my $3,000 Sony A7R III mirrorless DSLR camera with a Sigma lens, and I sold it for about as much as I bought it for years earlier, so that was cool. Facebook Marketplace and eBay, if any of you have stuff to sell. Facebook Marketplace is the bomb. Except, I've deleted all my I've deactivated Facebook, Instagram, all dating sites. I'm through with the dating sites and maybe even a lot of the social websites like Instagram. And although if I'm going to be ramping the channel up, I might have to incorporate that stuff again. But, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just don't have it on my phone. Because, like, once you start quitting stuff, I've been quitting a lot of things for almost 2 decades, 15 years or so. I'll quit nicotine, I'll quit booze, I quit sex, I quit masturbation. It's called NoFap. Have you ever done NoFap? You learn a lot when you have nowhere to run for your instant comfort. You learn a lot about yourself and a lot about what provides true happiness and true comfort and true dopamine and true satisfaction. And porn is just kind of icky anyway. I mean, it's fantastic. We all know that, but it's also, if you think about it, just, well, I can't really. But when you quit stuff, and this time it was social media. So this past year and some change, I have quit drugs, alcohol, all dangerous substances and mind-altering things, except for caffeine and a little bit of cannabis here and there. I've quit nicotine, booze, benzos. I mean, I was doing mushrooms, and I don't anymore. But I don't really put mushrooms in the same category as things you need to quit, because I could have a jar of mushrooms right now and not touch them. I couldn't have booze in my refrigerator if days could go by and I wouldn't touch it. But 1 minute of my alcoholism over my recovery and I'll be drinking it. So that's one thing I do. Even though I don't have the obsession to drink, I still don't have it in my house. Like, well, that's the thing, man. When you get sober, socialization and it's everything that goes with it, how to do it, how to have a dinner party, how to even have people over to play poker. You got to learn it all. I drank over all of it, all through my teenage years. I didn't learn how to socialize because I drank. I drank to socialize. And social media might be kind of putting a damper on how we socialize too. But that's not, I quit social media because we all know it's shitty, don't we? We all know it's shitty. I mean, for your self-esteem, for your dopamine, for your production, it's shitty. I got rid of it, went through some withdrawals from it, being able to lay around swiping for that dopamine release. The same people that design coin slot machines in Vegas were hired to design Facebook and make you want to keep swiping. Instagram, TikTok. I go through the same thing on being a YouTuber. There are ways to keep you engaged that YouTube insists that I do. I happen to have a buttery, smooth, and attractive voice that keeps the listeners listening. But if you don't have that, you can do all kinds of things. But anyway, my point is, I got rid of social media, except for YouTube, obviously. And I think my TikTok's still up. My Patreon is still up. If any of you are interested in that, I'd much rather you become a member here on the channel. And we got about 15 minutes before this daily 1-hour live stream podcast of addiction recovery by Sober James is coming to an end. But I do an hour every day. Yesterday I did a half an hour for the first time in a while. But I try to connect with other alcoholics like you daily. Nothing ensures lasting sobriety like intensive work with another alcoholic. You can talk to one person, and that's considered a meeting. When 2 or more alcoholics can join, that's considered a meeting. Is what I heard. That's not in the book or anything, but oh, shnikes. Yeah. Oh, Ryan, what up? I hate drinking more than my limit. I don't know if it won't consistently happen. What's up, Brian? My limit. What was my limit? 1. 1 is too many, and 1,000 is not enough. That's how my limit is described. 0 is my limit. 0 is my limit. If everyone has a fucking alcohol limit, 0 is this guy's limit. Yeah, so I do believe that YouTube is constructive. You can do anything from construct your own kitchen and bathroom to your own recovery from addiction network. So I do believe that YouTube is the biggest search engine in the is the biggest video streaming network in the world, even above Netflix, if you can believe it. YouTube, just you and I do believe in YouTube. And Sober James, click that join button, thumbs up, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. Are you guys going to see Goonies 2 in the theater? I hate the movie theater. It's unjustifiably expensive. It makes me feel like they're pushing me around or something. And I'm sensitive. I don't want to feel like you're pushing me around. I get all defensive. But, wish me luck in the social landscape this evening. I have to venture out with no comforting medications, no booze, no benzos. And if you know what I mean? No, nothing. My recovery is what I'll have to count on, the tools of recovery. Nikes on my feet make the cipher complete. Is that the Nikes on my feet make the cipher complete? It is how you choose to use this platform. Goonies 2, I didn't even know it was coming out. The last movie I made a point to see, Top Gun Maverick, that must have been a good one. Must have been loud as all hell. What other people think of me is none of my business. Right. That's what my sponsor tells me, at least. But I'll come up with some seemingly brilliant, in my opinion, excuse and argument to that, which would go something like, well, the fact that the word me is in that sentence makes it my business, bitch. I don't talk to my sponsor like that. Are you crazy? The way sponsors, set me straight is probably just asking a simple question like, if my sponsor, who is Samuel L. Jackson, by the way, he's sober for like 19 years. He's my sponsor. And if I called him a bitch, he'd be like, "Do I look like a bitch?" And I'd be like, and he'd be like, "Do I look like a bitch?" And I'd be like, "What?" And he'd be like, "Say what again, motherfucker? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker." I'd be like, Samuel L. Jackson, man, I should have never asked you to be my sponsor. And then he would have left, so there's no more. I'd be like, "Samuel, do I look like a bitch?" That's what my sponsor, Samuel L. Jackson, says to me. And I have no answer for him, That's what my sponsor, seriously though, my sponsor isn't Sam L. Jackson. But my sponsor will ask me a question that will just set me straight. He did it when I first asked him to be my sponsor and asked him, how did he, as an atheist 15 years ago, get this God thing? Because the God thing is necessary in recovery. I have, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of the people that wrote the book. So I'm an agnostic. I got all these, I think I'm so smart that I have answers about why God doesn't exist and like, why does he exist? And I'm on the fence and I have more questions than answers and blah, 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 blah. Well, alcoholism doesn't care about any of that. It wants to hear that shit. It doesn't want a power greater than it. So it explains to me how, who the hell are you praying to? Ain't nobody listening. All these blah, 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 you know. So I asked my sponsor a year and some change ago, will you be my sponsor and tell me how to do this God thing? Because I knew he was an atheist. And he asked me 3 questions. Like I said, he asked me questions to set me straight. He asked me 3 questions. Do you believe, James, that you are God? And I said, no. And he's like, well, then why are you treating your own opinions like the alpha omega? Because basically that's what we do. We think our way to a solution, we think, which I thought was alcohol, and we, go 100 on that. Never mind that there's a 89-year-old book that has a solution. I'm not going to listen to that because it didn't come from my brilliant mind. That was how I was working. The second question he asked me is, have you ever prayed for the willingness to believe in a God of your understanding? And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, why don't you try that? And then he asked me the third question, which was, what does a God of your understanding look like? If you were to believe in a God, what does it look like? And I explained how, well, he's not a dude in the clouds with a beard and sandals on. And I just said it's an incomprehensibly vast, just being that is all powerful and doesn't get its feelings hurt if I don't wear a suit on Sundays. And I can't understand it, kind of like an ant trying to read an algebra book. And he said, all right, well, that's a good start. So, and that was a year and some change ago. And I haven't had the obsession to drink since, because the second and third step of Alcoholics Anonymous, the second being, I came to believe in a power greater than myself that can restore me to sanity. For me, that's the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and all of its literature and teachings. That's where I find God, which comes in the third step. Was willing to hand my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him. So, since then, I haven't had the obsession to drink, which is indeed kind of a miracle, because I was drinking every minute of every day towards the end, and that lasted for years. And if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about drinking. That's the obsession of the mind of the alcoholic. Ryan says, I don't want to fight quitting alcohol for the rest of my life, and I don't want to overdrink the rest of my life. My sponsor is wise, and this is why we need a sponsor. I am still sick in ways, or some days, when I'm not practicing the principles of AA and the 12 steps. I can get sick in my alcoholism. I can be egotistical, judgmental, angry. I can be all over them. Right on, Shades. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for the super chats. Which reminds me, in the 5 minutes that we have left on this live stream, I'll tell you this. In the next week or so, I'm going to be making a decision, a pretty difficult one. I just accepted a job as a city mail carrier for the United States Postal Service. I spent the last 6 months as a rural mail carrier for the Postal Service. Same job, slightly different aspects, very different union, which is why I'm switching. I was missing pay and shit like that. However, I am registered for a peer support specialist certification class on March 12th, and I can either begin my 16-year career as a city mail carrier for the United States Postal Service, which is a decent job but very challenging in the elements at times, and through Christmas, don't even get me started. But it would be very challenging. But with my military experience of 4 years, I can retire in 16 years, and that would put me probably in my 60s somewhere. Not a mathematician, people, especially on camera. Or I can take this peer support specialist certification class, become certified as a peer support specialist, and start my career in addiction recovery at about $17 an hour, with probably half the benefits and none of the retirement of being a postal worker. So in the next week or so, I'll be making that decision. The good news is you will see me every day here on the Sober James channel on this one day at a time daily addiction recovery live stream, where we talk about alcoholism and recovery and everything in between. So there's that. One thing I have been finding easier is the decision and the decisions. We alcoholics like to future trip and create scenarios. But that's been improving. Well, I'm going to enjoy my day. You guys enjoy your day. Ryan says that $1 should go to your mother for rent. Ryan's already tipping into the IPAs, I see. Or maybe not. I don't know that. Glenn is retired at 52, commercial and industrial electrical foreman. I spent 4 years as a commercial and industrial electrical apprentice. I don't know if you knew that, Glenn, but I was in the IBEW local 236. And I spent 4 years realizing that I'm not a very good electrician, and these jobs are getting pretty dangerous if I'm not a very good electrician. And it was true. You know, up on 40, 50, 60 foot lifts, working with 277 and above, you know, I wasn't very confident in my abilities to be an electrician. I mean, I was going to the classes studying AC/DC theory, and nobody ever played Hell's Bells or Back in Black. So I was like, wait a second, this isn't AC/DC. This is actual math and trigonometry and shit. I was like, whoa, electricians know a lot. I got ADHD in this motherfucker. I can't learn this shit. I'm out before I get blown off a 40-foot scaffold from some like alternating current or some shit. So I had to smoke some weed and get out of there. To be honest, I probably could have been an electrician if I wasn't wrestling with. I was sober at the time. That's where they sent me to rehab, bro. That's where that story comes from, where I talked to the director of the electrical apprenticeship and said, the reason I've been missing work, the reason I crashed my car a couple years ago, was because I'm an alcoholic. He's like, why didn't you tell me we got a guy for that? And he was on the phone with a guy in the union, and he said, do you want to go to San Diego or do you want to go to Newark, New Jersey for rehab? And it was like December, and I said, what do you think? And he talks back into the phone, and he's like, San Diego. It was Temecula Valley. All right, Tivana's getting to his meeting, and I'm getting to my day. It's going to be a social day. I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. Hopefully I don't ruin everything. And if I don't, that's progress, not perfection. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing. Peace.